It's hard to believe, but the non-conference season has come and gone for East Carolina basketball. The Pirates will be playing their final non-conference game on Wednesday night when the High Point Panthers visit Williams Arena Minges Coliseum for what will be a 6 p.m. tip-off. Right now, to preview that matchup, very excited to be joined by the High Point head coach, G.G. Smith. G.G., we appreciate your time this morning.
How you doing? Good morning.
Yes, sir. Before we dive into this ball club specifically and what you have going on there at High Point, I wanted to take a quick trip down memory lane. I guess back to my high school years. I remember when you were playing for the Georgia Bulldogs, and
Yeah.
you guys were ranked 23rd and came to Minges, and that was a heck of a game that night. More so for the Bulldogs and Pirate fans, but that was a tremendous finish. What are your memories of that one? 55-54 Georgia.
Yeah, if I remember right, was that back when Coach Dooley was there the first time?
It was, and
Yeah. Yeah, I remember that game. I was like, first I was like, man, why do we have to come to East Carolina
yeah,
to come play? I was like, we got to go to Greenville to play at East Carolina. The Pirates, man, I remember it was close. I remember the crowd was ecstatic. It was loud. I mean, it was a close one. We were lucky to get out there with the win. We had a really good team that year at Georgia, and I just remember it being extremely loud at that place, and it was a great venue to play in.
I remember your dad. I guess he moved on to the University of Kentucky. Coach Jerso was coaching you guys, and when Jermaine Jones,
Mhm.
he got a lot of the headlines.
Yeah, Jermaine Jones was a heck of a player. He went on to the NBA. I think they did a great. I forgot who was guarding him at the time, but like they did a great job of just taking things away from us, and we were just fortunate to get out of there with a win.
And then, of course, the game ended very anticlimactically for the Pirate fans.
Mhm.
Buddy Oliver was fouled
Yep,
on a three-point attempt by Raphael Edwards.
yep. I think he would either make like 2 out of 3 or something like that, or I don't
I
remember
think the
right.
game was, if I recall correctly, I want to say that the game was tied, and then he
Yeah,
just had to make the first one. So
yeah,
we were in a situation where we had to see him miss all three. But
yeah. Yeah, it was a good
yeah,
game. Good
go ahead.
game. It was a great
Yes, sir.
game. I was just crazy. Just talking about Body Oliver. I was just on the phone with him the other day, actually, too. He's coaching down in Southern Florida, and I'll bring it up to him next time I talk to him too about that 3 pointer that he got fouled on.
What school is he at now?
He's down at a high school. I think it's Suncoast High School down there near West Palm Beach. He's from around that area, so he's like an assistant coach down there teaching.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Fast forwarding to present, coach. You obviously had a 5-year stint as the head coach at
Mhm.
Loyola University in Maryland prior to joining your dad's staff at High Point back in May of 2017. So just talk about what you learned from that first experience as a head coach,
Mhm.
and then combining that with some of the things you've learned from your dad as well as the other coaches, and how things maybe are a little bit different this second time around as a head coach.
Well, I always appreciate the opportunity of coaching again. A lot of coaches don't get a second chance. I was actually fortunate, happy for the opportunity at Loyola Maryland. We had 5 great years. Obviously, you didn't win as much as you wanted to, but it was a great experience. We played in a very tough league in the Patriot League. But yeah, but this time around, you don't do everything too much differently. I just thought back at Loyola Maryland, I just didn't think we really scored the ball really well, and I promised myself if I ever got a head coaching job that we were going to be a scoring team. We were going to score a lot of points. And we're doing a good job so far of that this year. We just got to just tighten up on the defensive end. I mean, I grew up a defensive guy. Obviously, my dad, I learned all that this ball line defense, the defensive principles, always be a good rebounding team. But I just thought, this time around, I just want to open up the offense a little bit more and just play a little faster. And, obviously, we're not guarding as well as I would like to. We're giving up more points than I like to, but hopefully it'll prep us come league play.
Yeah, you talk about the way this team is scoring 85 plus points per game. Most recently, 82 and an 85-82 loss down at Trask Coliseum the
Mhm.
other night. But tell us about your ball club offensively. One of the things that jumped out as I was looking through the numbers, you have three guys led by 6'4" junior guard Jaden House that are averaging anywhere from 14 and a half to 21 and a half per game.
Mhm. Well, I think at this level, you got to have like a big three. And I think Jaden House, he's our leading scorer. He's coming off a pretty good sophomore season. I think this year he's really taking ownership. He really wanted to, show off his skills. And he's a big time scorer. He's a bully. He gets to the rim. He's powerful. He's strong. He can score at all three levels. And I'm fortunate that he's off to a great start this season. And then obviously Zach Olson, who was preseason first team all Big South He's having another solid year. And then the guy that really surprised us was Abdullah Theon, the transfer from Minnesota. He's a kid that can really shoot the ball. And I think those three guys, one thing they all can do, they can all score. Zach's a great rebounder. Abdullah is a really good spot shooter. So those three guys really been good for us, and they can all score the ball.
Yeah, what is Abdullah? I think he's mid 40s from three.
Yeah, he's shooting right. We have right about 43, 44% from the 3-point. All in our top 5 to 6 guys all shooting about 45% from the field. And so offensively, we can really score the ball. I think that's something that I'm not really worried about. I'm just worried about us defensively. I just think we just need to tighten up a little bit on the defensive end. I think we can play a little harder. We can be a little better effort, a better championship effort on the defensive end, and that's something we've been really working on over the break. And hopefully it'll help us come Big South play.
With the way you guys are scoring, and talk about going against the East Carolina defense. It's definitely a work in progress, but Mike Schwartz, first-year East Carolina coach, is well known for what he's done on the defensive side of the ball, specifically at the University of Tennessee most recently. So talk about what you've seen out of the Pirates on that side.
Well, they're scary because I think they're really good defensively. I thought early on in the year, I didn't think they were playing well to start the season, but lately I think they're starting to bind what Coach Schwartz is doing, especially on the defensive end. So I'm really worried of how we're going to score. Because I think UNCW and when we played UNLV a few weeks ago, those are the two best defensive teams we faced all year, and I think East Carolina is just as good as those defensive teams. So we're going to have to do a better job. We're going to have to be strong with the ball. We have to meet passes. We're going to have to cut hard to the basket. We're going to have to be aggressive. We just can't settle. We have to continue to run our offense. Get the ball inside like we do, and we have to run. The last game against UNCW, I thought they really took us out of our pace. Really, we weren't playing fast until midway through the second half when we finally got back in the game. But we just got to control the tempo. We're a great offensive team. They're a really good defensive team. So something's got to give, and it should be a great matchup tomorrow night.
Yeah, I noticed in that UNC Wilmington game, as you mentioned, with about 13 and a half minutes to play, you trailed by 22, but you got it down to a 2-possession ball game on a few occasions there in the final minute.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we were able to finally get some stops. And we finally made some shots there. And we ended up cutting it to like 5 or 6, and we just a little bit too late. We just didn't really go up to a great start to the game. So that's something we have to do, especially when you're going on the road, you play in these hostile environments. You have to get off to a great start, and that's going to be one of the biggest keys to the game tomorrow.
You talk about wanting to see more from your ball club on the defensive end. And what have you seen from East Carolina offensively? There were so many unknowns coming into the year. You really didn't know where the points were going to come from, especially for those like us outside the program that had not had a chance to see the guys practice that much. And you have a guy like Javon Small who stepped up, averaging close to 20 points a game, and then Brandon Johnson, Ezra Asar, etc.
Yeah, I remember watching Ezra Asar in high school down Liberty Heights. He's a bully. He's a big dude, but after watching him on tape, I saw R.J. Felton play a bunch in high school too. But the kid Javon Small, man, he's a big time playmaker, man. He really scares me. He can do it all all 3 levels. Man, he's quick. He can get to the basket. He can shoot. He has the green light, but he's just some guy. He's some guy we're just gonna have to contain. We just can't let him go off with 20, 25 points. We just have to make things difficult for him. Just stay with him in the basket. Just make things difficult. And he's got to have 5 guys on him. He's got to see 5 guys, 5 numbers when he's attacking the basket. And he's not going to make every shot, but we just can't let him get hot. And then if he misses it, we got to rebound the ball. And we got to rebound the ball and just go run our offense.
And on the defensive end, who are some of your top defenders at this point?
For us?
Yes, sir.
Right now, I'd probably say Ahmad Harvey, the transfer from Coastal Carolina. He's given us some big minutes off the bench. I think he can guard 1 through 5. He's athletic. He's versatile. Obviously, Zach Alston, he was like second in our league in block shots. He was like one of the top 15 guys in the country in block shots. Those are 2 defensive guys because they're just so versatile and so athletic that they can guard the 1 through 5 position. And then we also have our best perimeter guys, probably Brock Williams, who comes off the bench. He can really, I think he'll be a matchup with Small, him and Bryant Randeman, as far as containing him and trying to keep him out of the paint.
Final thing for you, Coach, as your ball club's ready for play in the Big South Conference, tell us about your league. I know early in the season I had the chance to watch UNC Asheville against UCF, and I was very impressed with what I saw from them.
Our league's gonna be much better this year. I know our league, we lost a lot of guys to transfers and graduation, but with Zach Alston, Drew Pember at Asheville, the Gainey kid from upstate. I think we got a really good core as far as leagues play. Asheville's showing a lot of potential. Longwood, the defending champs, I think they're going to be good again this year with Isaiah Wilkins back. Gardner Webb, they're going to be tough defensively. Campbell, they're going to do their thing. So I really like our league. It's going to be a fun league. We're going to play 20 games, so it's going to be a true schedule. Everybody's going to play everybody at home. Everybody's going to play everybody on the road. So it's going to be a fun year. I'm looking forward to it, and hopefully we'll come up on top.
Yeah, you bring up that name, Drew Pember. Man, was he fun to watch that night. He put up 40 on UCF.
Well, yeah, Pete saw it. Then the other night he made that buzzer beater at ETSU. So he's got the hot hand right now, and he was picked as preseason player of the year. So he's going to be a tough matchup for everybody in this league.
No doubt. Coach, I really appreciate the visit and appreciate you spending 10 minutes with us this morning. Best of luck this season. Safe travels to Greenville, and we'll catch up with you down the road.
All right, man. Appreciate it.